Hi, we are Group 7, and today we're going to make a summary of the chapter E-commerce, Retailing and Services. Now without further ado, let us begin. In this presentation, we are going to explain the environment in which the online retail sector operates today. We will also explain how to analyze the economic viability of an online firm, identify the challenges faced by the different types of online retailers, describe the major features of the online service sector, discuss the trends taking place in the online financial services industry, describe the major trends in the online travel services industry today, identify current trends in the online career services industry, and explain the business models of on-demand service companies.
To give a general understanding, we will first look at the environment in which the online retail sector operates today. The online retail sector is growing at a very fast rate. In 2016 alone, it is estimated that 47% of internet users over the age of 14 made an online purchase, generating about $1.8 trillion in online retail sales. There are several advantages and challenges of online retail. Some of the advantages include lower supply chain cost, lower cost of distributions using websites rather than physical stores, the ability to reach and serve a much larger geographically distributed group of customers, the ability to react quickly to customer taste and demand, and the ability to change prices nearly instantly, etc. However, there still exist several challenges, including consumer concerns about the security of transactions, concerns about the privacy of personal information, delays in delivery of goods compared to store shopping, inconveniences associated with return of damaged or exchanged goods, and the overcoming lack of customer trust in online brand names. There are four main characteristics of today's environment. The first one is that the main players are not only pure online companies, but also the established offline retailers who have the brand name, supportive infrastructure, and financial resources to enter the online marketplace successfully. Consumers are not just cost-driven, but also attracted to stable, well-known, and trusted retail brands and retailers. One of the most important e-commerce retail themes today is the ability of offline traditional firms such as Walmart, Target, Macy's, and others to continue to integrate their web and mobile operations with their physical stores in order to provide an integrated shopping customer experience and leverage the value of their physical stores. This is the second main characteristic. The third one is that social e-commerce, referring to marketing and purchasing on social network sites like Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and others, continue to grow. All of these sites have developed into major marketing and advertising platforms that help direct consumers go to external websites to purchase products. The last characteristic is that in the past, only large firms could afford to run online marketing and advertising campaigns. Now, local merchants can also advertise their products and services online at a relatively inexpensive cost. Next, we will take a look at the methods to analyze the economic viability of an online firm. So, economic viability refers to the ability of firms to survive as profitable during the specified period. To assess, we will take two approaches: strategic analysis and financial analysis. Strategic analysis helps us understand the competitive situation of the firm, while financial analysis helps us understand how, in fact, the firm is performing. First, we will take a look at the strategic analysis, which focuses on the industry in which a firm operates and the firm itself. So to analyze the industry, we will look at the barriers to entry, power of suppliers, power of customers, existence of substitute products, the industry value chain, and the nature of intra-industry competition. To analyze the firm itself, we will look at the firm value chain, its core competencies, synergies, technology, and the social and legal challenges. Next, we will take a look at the financial analysis, which include the statement of operations and balance sheet. The statement of operation will tell us how much money or loss the firm is achieving based on current sales and cost. The balance sheet will tell us how many assets the firm has to support. The key factors to look for in a firm statement of operations include revenues, cost of sales, gross margin, operating expenses, operating margin, and net margin.
Next, we shall identify the challenges faced by different types of online retailers. First, the virtual merchants. They must build a business and brand name from scratch and confront many competitors. They face less cost in building and maintaining an e-commerce presence, building an order fulfillment infrastructure, and developing a brand name. Second is the omni-channel merchants. These firms face challenges in coordinating prices across channels and handling returns of online purchase. These companies face the challenge of leveraging their strength and asset. Third, the catalog merchants. Catalog merchants face very high cost for printing and mailing millions of catalogs every year. These firms have suffered in the recent years as catalog sales growth have fallen. They must leverage their existing assets and competencies to a new technology environment, build a credible online presence, and hire new staff. And finally, the manufacturer direct firms. These firms face channel conflict challenges. These conflicts occur when retailers of products must compete on price and currency of inventory directly against the manufacturer. There's also additional challenges of developing fast response online order and fulfillment system. They find difficulty in switching from a supply push model to a demand pull model.
Next, we want to describe the major feature of the online service sector. The service sector is the most important and fastest growing element of advanced industrial countries' economies. Financial services, insurance, real estate, business services, and healthcare are the key services industry group. Companies can be further divided into those that deal with transaction brokering and those that deal with delivering a hand-on service within these services business groupings. The service sectors, with a few exceptions, is mostly a knowledge and information-intensive enterprise. As a result, many services are particularly well adapted to e-commerce and the advantages of the internet. E-commerce presents an exceptional opportunity to increase transaction efficiency and consequently productivity in a sector where the expansion in information technology has had little impact. There are many online services nowadays that we can talk and mention about. First is web enabling services like banking, stock trading, education. These services help to save time and effort for the users. Next is matchmaking services that provide mechanisms to match a business or an individual needs, like jobs or employment sites, travels, insurance, or other lesser-known services like information selling on the web, entertainment services, and specialized services.
So, what are the trends taking place in the online financial service industry? First, for the online banking and brokerage, customer deposit grow faster than regular banks, indicating their growing popularity, particularly with younger customers. In 2016, almost two-thirds of the adult UK population use online banking. 25% of US internet users interact digitally with online broker firms. The most frequent activities conducted on mobile device include monitoring one's portfolio in the market, getting stock quotes, placing and checking on orders, and doing general financial research. A new wave of online financial advisor, sometimes referred to as robo-advisors, offered inexpensive, automated investment management tools and advice. Second, online mortgage and lending services. This market is slowly growing. It's dominated by established online banks and other online financial services, traditional mortgage vendors, and a few successful online mortgage firms. Their number is expected to continue to grow slowly but surely over the next several years. Online insurance services. In 2015, over 70% of American customers looked for life insurance information online, with 30% indicating that Internet was their most valuable source of information. Nearly 2 in 3 customers who own a mobile device said that they already have a plan to use those devices to access services to their life insurance policies. Over 70% of shoppers getting an online quote, and over 90% of life insurance companies had social media programs, up from 60% in 2010. And finally, the online real estate services. Websites were the most common information source used by almost 90% of users. Besides, 87% also used the services of a real estate agent. Despite the revolution in available information, there's not been a revolution in the industry value chain.
To describe the major trends in the online travel services industry today, the internet has become the most common channel used by consumers to research travel options and book reservations for airline tickets, rental cars, hotel rooms, and tours. The major trends in online travel services include consolidation, the rise of meta search engines, mobile devices, and social media.
The next key point we want to talk about is identify current trends in the online carrier service industry. Job hunting services have been one of the most successful web services, second only to travel services because they save money for both job seekers and employers. Online recruiting can also be used to create market price and terms, allowing employers to determine both the wage levels for certain jobs and the skill sets required to obtain those salary levels. Traditionally, companies have relied on 5 employee recruitment tools: classified and print advertising, career expos or trade shows, on-campus recruiting, private employee agency, now called staffing firms, and internal referral programs. In comparison to online recruiting, these two have severe limitations. Print advertising frequently includes a per-word charge that restricts the amount of information companies supply about a job vacancy, as well as a time constraint for posting the position. With career expos, attendee cannot be pre-screened, and the amount of time a recruiter may spend with each candidate is limited. Staffing firms charge exorbitant fees and have a small, generally local pools of job seekers. With on-campus recruiting, the number of candidates a recruiter may speak during a typical visit is limited, and businesses must visit multiple campuses and internal referral programs. Employees may be enticed to recommend unqualified candidates for available positions in order to qualify for prize or incentives. Online recruiting addresses this restriction by providing a more efficient and cost-effective way of connecting employers with potential employees while also lowering the total time to hire. Online recruiting allows job seekers to develop, update, and distribute their resume more simply by gathering information about potential companies and doing job searches. There are some key trends in the online career service businesses that we can mention about, like social recruiting. Consumer can use sites like LinkedIn to establish business contacts and networks, or employer can use LinkedIn to find candidates that are not actively job hunting, or even checking up the candidate's background. Next trend is mobile. Surveys show that millennials and Gen X are using mobile to search for a job. That's why major job hunting sites start their mobile application. Job search engine is also a key trend. These engines provide a free searchable index of 1,000 job listings from established online career sites for individual employer. The other trend that can be mentioned is data analytics and algorithm and hiring by algorithm.
Another type of online service that has become more popular is on-demand service companies. These companies provide a platform that enables the on-demand delivery of various services by connecting providers, sellers, who wish to exploit their spare resources with consumers, buyers, who would like to utilize those resources and services. Other common phrases sometimes used to describe these online businesses are sharing economy, collaborative commerce, peer-to-peer consumption, etc. However, unlike traditional sharing, where there is no fee charged in the transaction, these firms collect a fee from both sellers and buyers who are using their platforms. In the last few years, hundreds of startups have created a plethora of such platforms that allow owners of resources that are underutilized to sell access to those resources to consumers who would prefer not to or are unable to buy those resources themselves. A number of these on-demand service firms have grown exponentially over the last 5 years. What is new about these firms is their use of mobile and internet technology to enable transactions on their platforms. This is especially true of the car and lodging services where transactions are local and mobile. Second, the growth of this firm is supported by the use of online reputation systems beyond peer review to establish a trusted environment where sellers and consumers can feel confident transacting with one another. Online peer review of both the providers and the consumers helps to ensure that both parties have acceptable reputations and that a high quality of service is provided. These firms have learned from eBay and Netflix the importance of peer reviews and ratings. A third factor is successful firms lower the cost of service, like urban transportation, lodging, office space, and personal errand services. Firms that can do this are highly disruptive from existing firms and business models. Uber and Airbnb are among the most successful and well-known on-demand service companies.
And that is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and if you have any question, please feel free to contact us for more details.